Welcome to Patriot Stadium as your Wayne Hills Patriots get ready to do battle with the Highway Men of Teaneck. I'm Andrew Easse. I'm pleased once again to be joined alongside Matt Conforti. Now, Matt, tonight's a big game for Wayne Hills. I mean, last week they had an impressive win over Ramapo. What do you think they're going to do tonight to start the game off strong?
Well, I don't see a reason not to keep running the ball. You know, they had a great, successful, game last week, running the ball against Ramapo, and I don't see a reason to not do that this week.
Now, who do you think is going to be Wayne Hills' go-to player tonight?
I think it's got to be Justin Hogan. I know Chris Carone had a tremendous game last week. I think something like 46 carries, 240-something yards. He had a great game. I don't know if he's playing tonight, but I know Justin Hogan and all the running backs for Wayne Hills are going to be a big factor for them.
Now, after beating such a big rivalry in Ramapo last week, do you think that Wayne Hills learned a lot about their football program, the coaches and everything like that?
I think they absolutely did. They showed a lot of toughness against a good Ramapo team on the road, tough environment for Wayne Hills to play, and they really showed something. They did a great job.
Now, tonight, I believe that Pete Pelzewski will be the quarterback. And do you think that they're going to start off with the passing game, or they're just going to ground and pound with the running back, Justin Hogan?
I would ground and pound. I know Pete, he did like to roll out, and he does have a good arm. They have a good passing game, but I do think it is the run game that is their best weapon on offense. And I know they can roll out, Pete, but I'd stick with the run game.
Now, last week the defense looked very good, especially going to Ramapo and winning the game. Do you think the defense is going to step up tonight at home and have a big game?
Absolutely. I think they are pumped up, like you said, against Ramapo last week. They had a great game offensively and defensively, and I do think defensively they're going to have a great game.
Is there anybody in particular on the defensive side of things that you're expecting to have a big game?
Absolutely. Every week he takes the field. I think all eyes are on Justin Hogan, middle linebacker. He's a senior, good player. He stops the run, and I think he's going to have a big game tonight.
Now, also, you can't forget about Vinny Laverty. I mean, he has had a great season so far, had a couple interceptions in the previous games. Do you think tonight he's going to have a big game?
Absolutely. 4 interceptions on the year for Vinny Laverty. He's had a great start at the safety position. I do think he's going to keep that up along with the rest of the Wayne Hills secondary.
Now, special teams-wise, does not get as much love as you would say offense and defense, but special team-wise, do you think that maybe after having a rough start in the kicking game last week that they made any changes?
Well, I don't know if they made any changes, but I know the special teams is a very important part of the game, and I think Wayne Hills really does have. I know special teams coach Cohen puts a lot of time in, and I think special teams is going to be a big reason why Wayne Hills is going to win tonight.
Now, do you think tonight the home field advantage is going to play a big part in beating Teaneck?
Absolutely. It's always a big crowd. Wayne Hills fans, they show up and root on their school, root on their team. And I think, the home field advantage is going to play a big role tonight for Wayne Hills.
Now, to change things up, what do you think Teaneck has to do? Coming all the way from Teaneck to come here and play Wayne Hills at home, what do you think they need to do right off the bat to start off strong?
Well, on offensively, speaking, they got to, come out and do something either with the run. They got to establish the run or the pass. Whichever one they pick, they got to stick with that, and they obviously got to stop Wayne Hills.
And also tonight is the Wayne Hills Pink Out for breast cancer. Do you think that the crowd's going to have a big part in this game tonight?
Absolutely. I think they're ready. October is, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and, I do think Wayne Hills is ready to, make a statement tonight against Teaneck, yes.
Score prediction, Matt. Who do you think wins this game?
I got Wayne Hills 31, Teaneck 14.
I can't disagree with that, Matt. I think Wayne Hills is going to have a big game, both on the defense and offensive side of things. And, I think that the coaches are really prepared for this game to beat Teaneck.
Absolutely. No, there's no doubt it's going to be a good game, a good fight all the way. But, like I said, I think Wayne Hills is going to come away with a victory tonight.
Well, that's it from the field. It's time now to take a listen in on Coach Demikoff as he gets his troops ready for battle.
We play the way we're capable of, we're fine. If we don't, we're in for a war. I'm telling you. But if it gets that way, that's okay. Because whether it's the first quarter, the second quarter, the third, or the fourth, we're going to keep coming. Because that's what you've learned how to do now. There isn't any, we're worried about you doing it. That's what you do now. We talked to you about making our games into a street fight. And that's what you've done. That's who you are now. We're not that team that just wilts away. We're not that team that puts our tail between our legs and doesn't bite back. That's over. You guys have learned, and you are tough guys. And you got to play like it tonight.
Monahan turns around, takes a quick peek at the clock, hands it up the middle to Lynn, who gets outside. Chaz Lynn, it's a foot race. He's at the 40, to the 30. Lynn still on the feet, and he's in. Touchdown, Wayne Hills.
Look at the clock, Lou. It reads triple zeros as Chaz Lynn plays his own version of beat the clock. He had to go one place, and that was into the end zone, because if he was tackled, the half was over. Chaz Lynn beats the clock.
And good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome the Wayne Hills squad by introducing their starting offensive lineup. At wide receiver, number 9, Vinny Loverdi, number 9. At tight end, number 32, Joey Kenny, number 32. At tackle, number 61, Frank Petracco, number 61. At guard, number 75, Kyle Brackett, number 75. At center, number 66, Tyler Rivoli, number 66. At guard, number 73, Matt Sportelli, number 73. At tackle, number 55, Derek Bastinek, number 55. At tight end, number 35, Dylan Doak, number 35. At wide receiver, number 1, Anthony Figueredo, number 1. At quarterback, number 17, Pete Kalzewski, number 17. At tailback, number 29, Luca Grave, number 29. And at fullback, number 3, Justin Hogan, number 3. And let's welcome the rest of the Patriot squad. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you now please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem by the Wayne Hills Patriot Marching Band.
Hello and welcome back to Patriot Stadium. I'm alongside Mac and 40. Now, Matt, we talked about it in pregame. Again, what do you think Wayne Hills has to do tonight to start off strong?
Well, I think Wayne Hills has to come out here and establish the run, much like they did last week at Ramapo. It was a huge win for Wayne Hills, and I think if they get off on the right track out of the backfield, Wayne Hills would come away with a victory.
I agree, 100%. And I mean, Teaneck isn't as strong as a team as Ramapo was last week, but you can't, forget, it's high school football. Anything can happen. You think that could play a factor in tonight's game?
Absolutely. It doesn't matter who Wayne Hills is going against. They know it's a must-win tonight. Every time they take the field, it's a must-win, if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. So it's a big game for both Wayne Hills and Teaneck tonight.
And it turns out to be a beautiful night here. And the crowd is in full fold. You think that that's going to play a big role tonight?
Absolutely. Home field advantage. I think it's going to play a big part in the Wayne Hills victory tonight, trying to mess with Teaneck a little bit in the huddle.
I agree. And it looks like the Patriots are going to be kicking off. Now, do you think that there's any strategy in that? Taking the ball first, receiving it, or kicking it off?
Well, yeah, I think Wayne Hills is kicking it off because they'd like to receive the ball at halftime. I think they'd like to get off on a good start on the defensive side of the ball, and I think that's their goal right here going into this kickoff.
It looks like Wayne Hills is ready to kick off.
Number 1, Rashad Rice, and number 11, Christian Ozoria, are deep to return the kickoff by Emre Kaya of the Patriots.
Emre Kaya will be set to kick, and it looks like Rashad Rice and Christian Ozarara is back to receive. And this game is away. It's going to be fielded out about the 9-yard line, bobbled. It's going to be brought up to about the 20-yard line, and Wayne Hills is there to swarm and stop little to no gain on that play.
Nice job by the kickoff unit right there, not even to the 20-yard line, and now Teaneck has to drive about 80 yards to get to the end zone.
Now, do you think Teaneck is going to establish the run early, or are they going to pass?
I do. I think they're going to establish the run. They got some good backs, much like Wayne Hills, and I do think Teaneck's going to come out of here and try to run the ball right out of the gate.
100%. And now defensively, do you think that Wayne Hills is going to do anything special tonight?
I think they're going to send pressure at the quarterback. I do think Wayne Hills is a talent to get to the quarterback, with their down linemen, but I do think they might blitz tonight as well.
The team's going to hand it off, and it's going to be a pitch to Rice, and Rice is going to break, and he's going to hit outside and be tackled down at about the 26-yard line.
That's a nice play by number 7, Falzarano. Good read on the pitch play, a little toss to the left side, pick up a few yards there by Teaneck.
And like you said in the pregame, we just heard Justin Hogan's name being called. He's got to have a big game tonight, and you think he will?
Absolutely. In the pregame, like you said, I mentioned his name every time Justin Hogan takes the field. I think he's going to have a big game. I think all Wayne Hills expects him to. And I think tonight will be no different.
And tonight's quarterback for Teaneck is Jordan Gamble. Gamble's going to hand it off to fullback. Fullback is going to be stopped immediately. Gain of about 1 on the play. I do like when you give it to the fullback. That's a great job up front by Wayne Hills, number 48, LaShawn Askew, and number 67, Tom Ramsey. And then it's a great job, good push up front to stop the fullback for a little gain. And LaShawn Askew, only a junior, stepping up. And this is a big role in this Patriot defense.
Absolutely, last home game he played, he had a sack, a couple pass hurries, and he's been doing a great job since then at the defensive end position.
Gamble under center. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 for Teaneck. Gamble's going to play action here. He's going to roll out, and he's going to run for what looks like to be a 1st down and more to the 33-yard line. Well, he's going to step out of bounds.
Well, that's a great job by the quarterback. There was nothing there. He kept the ball. Justin Hogan, he ran after him, dove. There's nothing he could do. It's a good job by the quarterback, keeping the play alive and getting the 1st down for Teaneck.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Highwaymen. And so far, we've seen that their quarterback definitely can run.
Absolutely, he saw it was a play-action fake. I don't know if it was a keeper or not, but he saw that nothing was there, so he took the 1st down with his legs. It's a great job.
Now it looks like Gamble's going to be in the shotgun formation, spreading 2 receivers out wide on each side. Gamble's going to take that. It looks like there's a penalty flag in the area of a false start.
Prior to the snap.
And indeed, it is. Delay of game. Correction on the play against Teaneck.
Yeah, I'm sure the Teaneck coaching staff isn't really, too thrilled about that. In the first quarter, it's early. You don't really want to get into the penalty bug, but right there, this sets up Wayne Hill's defense in a good position.
So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty, and that's going to bring up a 1st and 15 situation for the Highwaymen. Gamble's going to be in the shotgun. And Gamble is going to be pressured by Wayne Hills, and he's going to roll out of the pocket. He's going to run on his own, and he's going to get a nice block, but only picks up about 6 yards on the carry.
Well, now Wayne Hill's defense is getting a sense that the Teaneck quarterback, Gamble, does like to use his legs. And if I was a defensive coordinator here, I'd put a spy on him because you see what he could do now with his legs.
100%. I mean, you always have to game plan for a quarterback that can run, and sometimes, especially at a high school level, it's even tough on a professional level. To game plan for that, can really be a burden on your defense.
Absolutely. It's such a great weapon to have, a mobile quarterback. It's such a deadly weapon for offenses.
It's going to be a 2nd and looks to be about 10 situation for the Highwaymen. Gamble's going to take the ball, and he's going to run again. Looks like a design run there, and he's going to pick up about 3 yards on the carry.
Yeah, you're right, Andrew. It did look like a design run. A little quarterback keep right up the middle. Good job by the offensive line from Teaneck. Nice little pickup there. 3rd down coming up.
That's going to bring up a 3rd down situation for the Highwaymen here.
3rd and 6.
It's going to be 3rd and 6. Jordan Gamble in the shotgun formation. Gamble's going to take the low snap. Gamble's under pressure. He's going to run for it again. Gamble's breaking tackles, and he's going to be tripped up at about the 41-yard line.
Well, that's a good job right there by the Wayne Hills defense. That's Joey Kenny on the tackle right there, tripping up Gamble. And he's been using his legs right now early.
And it looks like the Highwaymen did not get the 1st down here. Now, would you go for it? 4th and 1. First quarter, do you go for it?
I know it's early, but I would not. I'd like to challenge Wayne Hills and see what they're doing on offense, and I think the Teaneck Highwaymen are right for punting away right here.
And that's what they are doing, indeed. So deep back to return for the Patriots are number 9, Vinny Laverty, and correction, number 1, Anthony Vigorito. And it looks like there's a penalty on the Highwaymen. It looks like it's going to be a false start. No, again, another delay of game penalty.
Well, Teaneck coaches don't like to see that. That's 2 delay of game penalties within the first 3 minutes of play here at Wayne Hills, and the Teaneck Highwaymen are really starting to become sloppy here.
And I mean, we've said it. It's been repetitive in all the games that we've done together that penalties are teams' Achilles' heels, and tonight to have 2 penalties already, I mean, that's got to be rough.
Absolutely, Andrew. I mean, they come right out of the gate. All these delayed games really is not helping.
It looks like it's going to be a punt, and it's going to be fielded at about the. It looks like Anthony Vigor is going to let it roll, and it's going to be downed at about the 20-yard line.
Well, it's just like a touchback here. Wayne Hills has to go 80 yards to the end zone. They got to come out here, like I said in the pregame, like we said before, Andrew. You got to come out here, and you got to establish the run out of the backfield with Justin Hogan and the guys you got in the backfield, just like you did last week in the win against Ramapo.
So it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Wayne Hills Patriots. Now, do you think the first play from scrimmage here, Matt, is going to be a run or a pass?
I think it's going to be a pass, but I don't think they're going to stick with the pass, and they're going to go with the run game. But I do think they're going to come out here with a pass.
They have Vinny Laverty split out wide here. Looks like Pete under center. Looks like Palazzucci's going to hand it off. And he's going to hand it off to Luca Grave for a gain of about 5 yards on the play.
Nice pickup there. It's nice to see the sophomore Luca Grave, number 29, the tailback, contributing right there like he's done all year, picking up some tough running yards.
And this Wayne Hills team has been a ground and pound team. We've seen him last week. Ramapo really ran the well efficiently. And now with the loss of senior running back Chris Garone, I mean, that could potentially be a problem.
Absolutely. I understand Chris Garone had a great game last week. He's a very tough runner. But Wayne Hills does have the depth to come out with another good rushing game.
He's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off again to Grave. Grave's going to break a tackle, and he's going to drive his way to about the 34-yard line. It's going to bring up a 1st down for the Patriots.
Oh, there it is, ground and pound, right off the bat, a 1st down for Wayne Hills, and now they're in a good situation here, the new set of downs.
So it's It's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Patriots. Palzewski under center. Palzewski's going to hand it off again to Grave. Grave's going to cut. He's going to be tackled down. A gain of about 1 yard on the play.
Now right there, Grave saw there was nothing up the middle. The Teaneck defensive line had a great push against Wayne Hills. He saw there was nothing there, kicked it back outside, and instead of a loss of 2 or 3, he gained about 1. Great job by Grave.
Now, do you think a team could potentially, obviously it's early, it's only the first quarter, but become one-dimensional by just running the ball? Do you think that maybe here, maybe play action or just go straight to the pass? Do you think that that could be a path that the Wayne Hills Patriots take here?
Well, I think Wayne Hills does have the talent to stick with the run the whole way, and it also sets up play action with Pete, who's very good at executing.
It's going to be a 2nd and 10 situation for the Patriots. And he's going to hand it off against the Grave, and Grave is going to be swarmed and tackled immediately, gain of about 1 on the carry.
Well, another good job there from Teaneck. I mean, the defensive line had a great push. You know, that's Rashad Rice on the tackle. Great job coming off the ball right there. Gain of a very short gain for Wayne Hills.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 situation here for the Patriots.
Now right here, if I was Wayne Hills, I try to throw the ball. You've established the run. Teaneck knows you could run the football. Now on 3rd and long, I'd throw the ball.
Let's see what Coach Demikoff has in store. And it looks like Pete's going to hand it off again to Grave. Grave's going to try to get the edge, but he's not, and he's going to be tackled down. And that looks like it's going to bring on the punt team for the Wayne Hills Patriots.
Well, good job by the Teaneck defense. They were all over the ball carrier right there. Grave was tackled, and now the punt unit will come out.
Now, so far, Matt, I've seen a Teaneck defense, as well as the Wayne Hills defense, that is hungry. They look like they are ready to stop the run.
That's right. You know, both sides defensively are swarming toward the ball carrier. They look like they're on the same page. You know, the defensive line, linebacker, secondary, they all look like they're on the same page for both sides, and they're making some nice plays against the run early.
And the Patriots are going to bring out Tom Skiba to punt the ball away here. And it looks like Rashad Rice is going to be back deep for the Highwaymen. Snap to Skiba. And it looks like Skiba is going to get a little too much of that one, and it's going to take a Highwayman bounce, and it's going to be down at about the Highwayman 48-yard line.
Well, tough break here for Wayne Hills. You know, they're giving Teaneck very good field position. They're almost set up at midfield here. And now the Wayne Hills defense just has to do what they've been doing all year, stepping up, stopping the run, and the secondary's got to do a good job against a pass.
So excellent starting field position for the Highwaymen here. Do you think that we've seen a lot of the run by Gamble? Do you think that he's going to continue to just take the ball and just at will run it anytime he wants?
You know, I think he's going to, because he knows that works, you know. I mean, if I was Coach Demikoff in this Wayne Hills team, like I said before, I put a spy on him to make sure he doesn't do much of that.
Looks like Gamble's going to hand it off to Rice, and Rice looks like he's going to slip, but he's going to try to make up the most of it, and he's going to pick up about 1 yard on the carry.
It's a good job by the Wayne Hills defensive line right there, swarming toward the ball carrier. That is the junior outside linebacker, Joey Stambouli, bringing down the back right there. Only a short gain right there from Teaneck.
And you bring up Joe Stambouli. I was talking to him earlier today, and he's ready for this game. He knows this is a big game, and he knows that when he's in there, he's got to make big plays happen. And I think that he's definitely capable of doing that.
Absolutely. You know, he's a tough kid, and this whole Wayne Hills defense is tough, and they're doing a good job so far here in this game.
So Gamble under center, and he's going to play action here to Rice, and he's going to run for it again. And it looks like Gamble's going to have a bit of a hole, and he's going to get a nice block here, and he's going to be taken out short of the first down.
Now, I know Gamble right there, you know, that's a nice run, but, you know, everybody forgets about the blocking from Teaneck. That's a great job giving Gamble these holes to run through, and that's a great job by the Teaneck offense.
And that's going to bring up a 3rd and short situation here for the Highwaymen at about the 48-yard line. It's like Gamble here is going to have 2 guys split out wide on the left-hand side and trips to the right. Going to take the pass, and he's going to roll out here, and he's going to try to throw to, and it looks like it's going to be a catch on the sideline by the Highwaymen. It looks like they pick up a first down.
That's a great job right there by Mike Davis. That is a tremendous catch. Even better throw from Gamble, and that sets up Teaneck for a first down. Great job by their offense.
So that's going to be a first down here for the Highwaymen. A big pickup on 3rd and short.
Absolutely, if Teaneck can do that, Wayne Hill's defense has to step up and stop those 3rd down conversion attempts right here.
Looks like Gamble under center here, and he is going to hand it off again. And it looks like the Patriots are there to stop him behind the line, and it's going to be a loss of about 1.
And Wayne Hill sends the blitz there. That's Justin Hogan, the first to greet him in the backfield. And that's Joey Kenny eventually brings him down. And it's a good job by the Wayne Hills defense reading the run and getting into the backfield, causing havoc in the backfield.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 11 situation here for the Highwaymen. It looks like Rice is in the backfield here. Gamble's going to take the ball in the center, and he's going to pass it here. And no, he's going to take it himself, and he's going to run. And it looks like he's going to try to hit to the sideline, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds at about the 43-yard line.
It's a great weapon. We already talked about it. He's a mobile quarterback, and he's just, keeping the play alive by, finding these little holes. And, Wayne Hill's having a tough time getting to him right now with the run.
So it's going to be a 3rd and 7 situation here for the Highwaymen. And I would not be surprised if they try to run it again with this quarterback.
Absolutely. If it's not fixed, if it's not broken, don't fix it, and he's shown that he can move with his legs.
It looks like Wayne Hill's going to send the man after the quarterback. The pocket is collapsed, and it looks like Gamble's going to run for the first down.
Now, I don't know if that was a design play for a quarterback keep. Jordan Gamble right there, Wayne Hill sends the blitz, and he reads it perfectly and goes right up the middle for the first down. Great read by the quarterback from Teaneck.
And, I've been very impressed by this quarterback play from the Highwaymen. Gamble has really shown that when the pocket collapses, he doesn't panic. He just runs with it.
Absolutely. It's all about keeping the play alive, and he's done a great job with that.
And it looks like the Highwaymen are going to try an end around there. And Devontae Hicks, number 7 on the carry, is going to be swallowed up for a loss of yards.
That's a nice little play call, but Wayne Hills was all over it. That's number 32, Joey Kenny, the first to greet him on the sweep play from Teaneck.
That's going to bring up a 2nd down situation here for the Highwaymen.
Right here now, I think Teaneck has to throw the ball. Wayne Hills has put themselves in a good position at 2nd and long. It's tough to convert, and Teaneck's going to try to do that against this tough defense.
So Gamble's going to be in the shotgun formation. Gamble's going to take the snap. Surveying the field. He's going to throw a fade pattern here, and it's going to be overthrown for number 3, Anthony Phillip.
That's great coverage right there by Anthony Vigorito, who breaks up the pass. Good coverage, and there's a very tight window for Gamble to throw through, and he couldn't do it. Good job by the Wayne Hills secondary, led by Vigorito.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd and long situation here for the Highwaymen. And Wayne Hills, we can hear it in the crowd. They're ready. They're pumped up for this 3rd down. See their defense make a big stop.
Absolutely. I'm sure the down linemen are pumped up that they can just go after the quarterback, 3rd down and long, trying to get a sack, make it 4th down, try to get Teaneck out of field goal range.
So Gamble's going to be in the shotgun formation. 3 receivers split out to the right. It looks like it's going to be a bubble screen here to number 2, Elijah Bethea, and he's going to be taken down immediately.
I do like the play call, little bubble screen, like you said, little wide receiver screen right there. Wayne Hills is all over. This is not the ordinary defense that Teaneck is going against.
And that's going to bring up looks like going to be a punting situation here for the Highwaymen. And we're going to have Vinny Laverty and Anthony Vigorito deep back to return. So, Matt, I've been impressed by the play of Gamble so far. He's played a lot like a professional oh, no, it looks like Vinny Laverty's going to be the only one back to return here. It looks like a penalty here on the Highwaymen. A full start.
Well, Teaneck looked like they were going for the fake right there.
So that's going to bring the Highwaymen back. And it looks like now Anthony Vigorito is deep back to return this punt.
Wayne Hills needs a good return out of him, I mean, if they get themselves in good field position, they did a good job on defense getting Teaneck out of goal range, and now a good return would really spark this Wayne Hills team.
So it's going to be a low snap here, and the ball is going to be a very low punt. It's going to take a highwayman bounce, and it looks like Anthony Vigorito is just going to let it bounce, and this is going to be down around the 5-yard line.
Well, tough break for Wayne Hills. Bad snap by Teaneck, a little low, and a low kick by Teaneck right there. And Davis, touches the ball at the 5, and now Wayne Hills is 95 yards away from the promised land.
Now, sometimes, obviously, that wasn't the greatest of punts, but sometimes it doesn't have to be pretty as long as he gets the job done. In that case right there, they got the job done. Anytime you get the ball within the 20-yard line, that's a successful punt. And right there, the special teams for the Highwaymen really stepped up.
Absolutely. Special teams are a very important part of this game, and it showed right there.
So that's going to bring up a 1st and 10 situation here for the Patriots. Palzewski on the center, and he's going to hand it off to Luca Grave. Luca Grave is going to make a cut, and he's going to be taken down at about the 10-yard line.
I like the play call right there. Run the ball, give yourself a little breathing room, try to pick up some tough running yards. Good push by the Wayne Hills offensive line. 2nd down coming up.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 5 situation here.
2nd and 6.
Now, what do you think Wayne Hills is going to do here? Try the pass deep in their own territory, or try to run the ball?
I try to run the ball still if I was Wayne Hills. Give yourself even more breathing room,
So it looks like Pete Pelzey's going to take the ball, and he's going to hand it off on a misdirection to Luca Grave. Luca Grave breaks a hole. Luca Grave has plenty of room. He's going to be thrown down at about the 33-yard line.
What a tremendous job, not only by Grave, but the Wayne Hills offensive line making a huge hole. You could have drove a car through that hole right there that the offensive line from Wayne Hills just made.
And you have to be happy. A sophomore stepping up and taking a big role from senior running back Chris Garone. And so far, he's done a great job.
Absolutely, it's nice to see the sophomore contributing like we said. He's made some big plays all season long, and there's another one.
And it looks like Wayne Hills is just going to let the clock, run out. And there you have it. Our score is Wayne Hills 0, Teaneck 0. We'll be right back with more second quarter action after this.
3rd and 5, 40 Indians from their own 37-yard line. Bly rolls out to the right side of the field, getting pressured by Drake. As the pass is intercepted by Jeremiah Kale. Kale to the 40, does that to the right side of the field. He's got blocking downfield to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Patriots. Jeremiah Kale, his 10th interception of the season, takes it back for a touchdown as the Patriots take a 6-0 lead.
Hello and welcome back to Patriot Stadium. The beginning of the second quarter here, and the score has been defensive. It's had really stepped up for both sides, and leading the score to be 0-0.
You're right, Andrew. Defense has been the story so far in this game.
This looks like Luca Grave is going to get the ball again. Luca Grave has a hold to the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20. It's 1 minute.
Great job by Luca Grave, the sophomore from Wayne Hills. Another great job by the Wayne Hills offensive line. A tremendous run by number 29 in black. A tremendous play. Touchdown, Wayne Hills.
And Luca Grave, we've said his name before, only a sophomore. And last week we said it, when you get past the first line of defense, it's extremely hard sometimes to stop the running back. And right there is a prime example of how dangerous Luca Grave can be in space.
Absolutely, in space. You said it. I mean, that running back, he's quick, he's fast, and all the above. What a great run by Grave.
So Emery Kai is going to attempt the extra point. And it looks like the kick is up. And it is good, making the score 7-0 Wayne Hills.
What a great way to come out here in the second quarter. And, first play from scrimmage, you get a huge touchdown. 7-0 Wayne Hills. Great job by the Wayne Hills team.
And if you're Coach Demikoff, you have to be extremely happy with what you've seen so far. I mean, yes, the offense in the first quarter was a little stagnant, but right up there, first play in the second quarter, you break a run for around 55 yards. I mean, what else can you ask for?
Not much. You can't really ask for anything much more than that. Wayne Hills is a great running team, and they showed it. They not only can they get the tough running yards by just handing the ball off constantly. They can get that big run, that the home run hitter. Which is Luca Grave.
So Rashad Rice and Christian Ozuria are going to be deep back for the Highwaymen.
Number 70, Luca Catania, will kick off. Rashad Rice and Christian Ozuria.
So Wayne Hills is ready and set to kick off.
Are deep to return the kick.
And the kick is going to be fielded at about the 10-yard by Rice. Rice is going to take the ball to about the 20. He's going to find a hole. He has to see him down the sidelines. Rice has one man to beat, and he is going to take it all the way for the touchdown.
Number 1,
Rashad Rice. What a play from the kick returner from Teaneck. Tremendous blocking by the front line there. And it seems like there's a flag on the play.
So if the play does stand, that's going to be a 90-yard kickoff return. And that is a backbreaker for the Wayne Hills Patriots after just getting a very much-needed run by Luca Grave for a touchdown. And to have that happen, that's definitely a rough start.
Absolutely, but you got to give all the credit right here to the kick return team from Teaneck. I mean, Rashad Rice right there on a huge return. And, what more can you ask for from the special teams from Teaneck?
Sideline warning against Teaneck.
So it looks like the penalty is going to be on the Teaneck bench for excessive celebration here. And it's going to back the kick up. No, it's just going to be on the bench, a warning. And the point after is going to be blocked by Wayne Hills. A big play there.
It's a great job by Wayne Hills, sticking a hand up there, much like in the Jet Patriots game last night. Tremendous job from Wayne Hills, bringing Teaneck back down to earth a little bit. The momentum was on their side now. Wayne Hills still has a lead thanks to that big play.
And I mean, obviously, high school football and professional football are two different things, but you bring it up. The blocked field goal last night by the New England Patriots, I mean, that was a big momentum shift for them, which ultimately won the game. And right there, a 7-6, that could be definitely difficult for the Teaneck to come back here, obviously having to get a 2-point conversion if Wayne Hills does get the touchdown and the extra point.
Absolutely, missed extra points are killers for teams out there. And right there, Wayne Hills just showed that they were still focused. They weren't down on themselves after giving up a big touchdown. They still came to play right there on extra point block, and they did it.
So now, it would be really nice to see if Wayne Hills could maybe muscle something up and bring a kick return back to the house, just like we saw Teaneck do.
Absolutely, and I think Wayne Hills does have that skill to do that.
Rashad Rice will kick off.
And Rashad Rice is going to be doing the kicking for Teaneck, and Brian Burgess and Anthony Vigorito. Vinny Laverty and Brian Burgess are going to be back deep for the Patriots. And the kick is off, and it is going to be fielded at about the 14-yard line by Vinny Laverty. Vinny Laverty has a seam. He has a hole, trying to break it outside of the 40 to the 45-yard line, and Vinny's going to be spun out of bounds. A big pickup by him.
It's a great job by the playmaker, number 9, Vinny Laverty, right there on the return. Almost set up at Wayne Hills. Almost set up at midfield for Wayne Hills, and now, they have very good field position.
So that's going to bring up a 1st and 10 situation here for the Patriots. Now, we haven't seen one pass so far. Do you think they stick with the ground and pound, which has worked, or try to change things up and pass the ball?
I don't see why you'd switch it up right here. The ground and pound is working. And, right now, Wayne Hills, they have a fullback in, which in my mind shows that they're going to run the ball.
So Pete Palzusti is going to take and give the handoff to Luca Grave. Luca Grave has another hole. Luca Grave to the 30, the 20, the 15, and he's going to be taken down at the 10-yard line.
How about that right there from Wayne Hills? Luca Grave, a tremendous game. This offensive line from Wayne Hills is playing tremendous along with Grave, and he's had a huge first half in this one.
He's had an exceptional first half, breaking 2 plays, one resulting in a touchdown, and the other leading to a ball in the red zone. Great field position for the Patriots here.
and we're going to get a timeout on the Teaneck side.
That is
They want to
a
talk things
first
over
and
after
goal
giving
on the
up
10-yard
what has
line
been
for
the
the
two biggest
Patriots.
plays so far in the game, back-to-back.
Absolutely, Wayne Hills, not only are they in the red zone, now they got to put up a touchdown. A field goal, in my
Ladies
mind,
and
would be good.
gentlemen,
You take the
special
points, but I think the
thanks by
touchdown really will do it here.
Pellegrino
And I'll put the icing on the cake here in the second quarter.
It's Cosmetics
Now, obviously,
for
this
sponsoring
timeout here
the
is
Pretty
intended for
and
Teaneck,
Pink
but do you think this maybe
Lip
helps the
Gloss
Patriots
free
out, or
giveaway.
maybe hurts them by stopping the momentum that they have?
Pink out
I think it helps out Wayne Hills because, it's giving them more time to go over what they want to do. It's very hard for opposing offense to score in the red zone because the defense doesn't have to cover that much space, obviously. So now Wayne Hills, they're going over what they want to do, and I think they're confident in their decision right here.
So the ball is going to be placed at the 10-yard line in the Patriots. We're in the red zone here for the Patriots. And if I'm Coach Demikoff, I got to keep giving it to Luca Grave.
Absolutely, he's been the playmaker so far in the first half for Wayne Hills, and I don't see a reason not to keep feeding him the ball.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 here for the Patriots. And Pete Pazu's going to hand it off again to Luca Grave. Luca Grave is going to spin down to about the 8-yard line, a gain of 2 on the play.
I like sticking with the run right there. We already went over it. Grave's had a huge first half, and I'd like to see him get in the end zone one more time here in this half.
Now, obviously, at a high school level, kicking can sometimes not necessarily be automatic like it is in the professional level. So, if you're Coach Demikoff, you really want to punch this ball into the end zone here. Try to go up 14-6 early here in the second quarter.
Absolutely, as much as I'd like to see Grave have another touchdown, I think you give it to Hogan right here.
So Pete Pazus is going to be under center. He's going to take the snap, and he's going to hand it off to Grave. Grave has a hole, and he is going to take it in for the Patriot touchdown.
How about that right there? And I thought he should have gave it to Hogan. Keep giving it to Grave. He's doing this for Wayne Hills. Great job by the whole Wayne Hills offense on that possession.
And like you said before, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the Patriots running game has been phenomenal so far.
Absolutely. That just goes to show how strong their running game actually is. They haven't dropped back to throw once, and they're winning by 2 touchdowns here, by a touchdown.
So the kick is going to be attempted here by Emery Kaya.
Will attempt the extra point. Figueredo will hold.
Snap is good. The kick is up. And it is no good.
The kick is no good.
So the kicking struggles are not just for Teaneck, but also for Wayne Hills here, missing what was sure extra point.
You know what? Yeah, the extra points, they're killers when you don't make them like we said. And, 13-6, Wayne Hills right here. And the extra point, just a little wide there.
And what that does now is if Teaneck does get into the end zone again, an extra point ties the game up, which, obviously we said we were talking about earlier. 2-point conversion, very hard to pursue and get done correctly. But now, a touchdown here and an extra point, you have ourselves a tie ball game.
Absolutely, and I think this offense really does have the skill to do it again from Teaneck. Wayne Hills is a step up on defense. I think they'll do just that.
So it looks like Rashad Rice and Christian Ozuria are going to be deep back on the return for the Highwaymen.
Well, Rice, coming off that huge touchdown, I think 90 yards, and I think he's looking to do make another explosive play right here on this return attempt.
So it looks like Wayne Hills is set and ready to kick this football off. And it's going to look like it's going to be squibbed here. And it's going to be taken up at about the 28-yard line. And Wayne Hills is going to take the man down at about the 38-yard line. So what we saw right there is that Wayne Hills is definitely, I don't want to say afraid, but it's a concern to realize what the Highwaymen kick returners can potentially do. And we saw them bring it back all the way to the house. And, now that's in the back of their head. They realize that they can't kick the ball necessarily deep because they could have another collapse in special teams like what happened before. So Gamble's going to hand the ball off to Rice, and Rice is going to be swallowed up behind the line.
Rice on the carry. Number 75, Kyle Brackett on the tackle.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 11 situation here for the Highwaymen. Let's see what they have in store. So Gamble's going to be in the shotgun formation. Gamble's going to survey the field. Looks like the pockets collapse, and he's going to take off. But it looks like Wayne Hills is right there to stop him.
Gamble on the keeper, tackled by number 48, LeSean Askew. It will be 3rd
And LeSean Askew is another player I've been talking to throughout the week. And he told me he was ready this week. He was ready to make a statement. And so far, we've heard his name called a couple of times. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 9 situation here for the Highwaymen. Gamble's going to be in the shotgun formation. He's going to take the ball, and he's going to look like he's going to pump, and he's going to go deep to the sideline. And that ball is going to be broken up by the Wayne Hills Patriots. And that was number 3. Looks like Justin Hogan on the deflection.
Broken up by Frank Falzarano, number 7.
Correction, that was Frank Falzarano on the pass deflection.
Anthony Vigorito is deep to return the punt.
So Anthony Vigorito is going to be deep back for the Patriots here at about the 30-yard line.
Devontae Hicks, number 7, will punt for Teaneck.
So Devontae Hicks is going to be doing the punting for the Highwaymen. He's going to take the snap, and he is going to kick another low punt that takes a Highwayman bounce. And Vigorito is going to field the ball at about the 20-yard line and is going to be swallowed up at about the 19.
Immediately tackled by number 4, Mike Davis. 1st and 10.
So now Wayne Hills is going to have a 1st and 10 situation here at their own 20-yard line. Do you think you go to the pass? We've talked about it before, and they've stuck with the run. But do you think maybe here, just to catch them off guard, maybe a little play action here, that could potentially beat the defense for a big gain? It looks like Pete's going to hand the ball off again to Grave, and Grave is going to be taken down for little to no gain on the carry.
Grave on the carry. Christian Ozoria, number 11, on the tackle.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 8 situation here for the Patriots. They're going to have Vinny Laverty split out wide here. Palzucci is going to take the snap, and he's going to hand it off to Justin Hogan, who is going to be met immediately by Teaneck. And it looks like that's a gain of about 1 yard.
Number 3, Justin Hogan on the carry. Tackled by Peter Walker, number 17, and Eddie Rivera, number 18.
So 3rd and 6 here. I got to think maybe Coach Demikoff might want to pass it. You know, we've stuck with the run. It has worked in the past, but maybe Teaneck has made an adjustment, and maybe they know what's coming from this Wayne Hills run. And it looks like they are indeed going to do that. And he's going to hit Joey Kenny. What looks like he has enough for the 1st down here.
The pass complete to number 32, Joey Kenny. 1st down, Patriots.
So that is going to move the chains here for the Patriots. And a nice play. Nothing fancy. Just had your tight end run a little drag route in the flat, open, picks up the 1st down. Pazuski under center is going to hand the ball off again to Grave. Grave has a hole, and he's going to be taken down at about the 35-yard line.
Tackled by number 22, Daniel Radford, and number 7, Devontae Hicks.
And that's what you want to see out of a sophomore running back, getting him work, getting him reps. And he's shown us tonight that he came to play. And looks like they're going to hand it off to Justin Hogan. And Justin Hogan is breaking tackles and driving himself all the way to the 45-yard line.
Justin Hogan on the carry. Tackled by Christian Osoria, number 11, and number 17, Peter Walker. That is a first down Patriot.
And that is going to be a first and 10. We're going to bring up a first and 10 situation here for the Patriots. And you got to love it. Giving it to Justin Hogan and just having him plow his way for a first down. So that's going to bring up a, like I said before, a first and 10 situation here at about the 44-yard line. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout here by Wayne Hills. And I mean, Coach Demikov has to be really happy with his team. I mean, they've shown us that they can run the ball, and when they need to pass the ball, they can. And I mean, what else can you really ask for if you're, coming into this game off of a big win? And I mean, a timeout here could definitely benefit both sides, not just Wayne Hills, but definitely Teaneck, because Teaneck, we've seen that they look like they're getting a little bit tired. I mean, they have led up two crucial runs that have come back to bite them. And maybe this is not a terrible thing for Teaneck. So it looks like Pazuski has the play here. And now if you're Teaneck, do you maybe try to send a man after the quarterback, maybe thinking he would pass, or do you think they're just going to run it? And indeed they will. They will hand it off to Luca Grave. Luca Grave fighting his way to, looks to be a first down Wayne Hills.
Luca Grave plows forward. Tackled by number 29. Correction, number 22, Daniel Radford.
I love it, Matt. Thunder and lightning, that's a great way to describe this Wayne Hills running team. I mean, once you think you have Luca Grave figured out, they give it off to Justin Hogan. And I mean, that's a dual threat, which really can be critical for a running offense like Wayne Hills. So they're going to have a receiver split out wide, and they are going to play action here. And it looks like Pazuski is going to overthrow his intended receiver, number 32, tight end Joe Kenny.
Pass intended for Joey Kenny is overthrown.
And now we even saw on that play that it looked like number 9, junior receiver Vinny Laverty was almost open again on a post corner route. It almost looked to be. And I mean, do you try to throw it deep, or do you just try to pick up the first down, run the clock out a little bit, and just try to maybe even settle for a field goal? And looks like they're going to hand it off to Hogan, and Hogan indeed is going to pick up the first down and a little bit more.
Justin Hogan on the carry. Number 17, Peter Walker.
So that's going to move the chains. It's going to bring up a first and 10 situation here for the Patriots. And they just keep running that football.
32-yard line.
So let's see if Wayne Hills tries to be a little creative here and maybe roll out, have a man deep, and it looks like nope, they're just going to give it off to Justin Hogan, who has a hole and is going to pick up 7 on the play.
Justin Hogan on the carry. Tackled by number 8, Kimrick Petrie. Pickup of about
And I mean,
7
I've seen a game plan that Coach Demikoff, I haven't seen from him in games past. It's just been run the ball. Really no passing. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 plays thrown in there, but primarily the entire game has been on the ground. And it looks like they're going to hand it off again to Justin Hogan, who is going to
Hogan on the carry.
pick up the first down. Correction, that was a second down on that previous play.
Number 50, Nathaniel Lee. And number 52, Jason
But he will not pick up the first down. It's going to be a 3rd and 1 situation here.
Third and less than a yard.
Pazuski under center, and he's going to hand it off to Luca Grave, who's going to be swallowed up and taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
Grave on the carry. Tackled by number 18, Eddie Rivera.
And Eddie Rivera is a captain on this Teaneck team. And I mean, you always want your captain to step up and make big plays. And right there, he stepped up and made a crucial stop for Wayne Hills. So it looks like Wayne Hills is going to keep the offense on the field, and they are going to go for it. It's going to have a 4th and 2 situation here. And it looks like some movement on the line of scrimmage, and that could be a neutral zone infraction.
Encroachment.
And the penalty is going to be encroachment, which is going to move the chains and give Wayne Hills a first down.
First down, Patriots.
So 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in this quarter. I would like to see maybe a pass here just because obviously the run has worked, but maybe just try to change things up a little bit and maybe see if they can have receiver Vinny Laverty open in the end zone. And it looks like they're going to hand it off again to Justin Hogan for about 6 yards on the carry.
Tackled by Nathaniel Lee, number 50, and number 7, Levante Hicks.
So what we see from this Wayne Hills team is that they look like they're going to try to run the ball, get it down to about 10 seconds here, and just try to punch it in and go into halftime with the momentum on their side.
Ladies and gentlemen, our diamond sponsors, Amore Cucina, Anthony Franco's.
So we're going to have a timeout here. And now, if you're Coach Demikoff, Matt, what are you telling your troops? Are you telling them to just stay calm, you know, do what we have been doing, which was running the ball, which has been working effectively, or do you maybe say, you know, guys, a sense of urgency here. You have to get the ball into the end zone, and a field goal, settling for a field goal attempt is just not good enough.
Lane's Contractors, jewelry by M&S, and Models.
And the word urgency, especially on the football team, can really mean a lot. You know, it's one of those adjectives that to describe a football team, if you have urgency, meaning that you're just, you know you have to get the job done, that's what breeds a winning football team. So it's going to be 2nd and 3 here for the Patriots, and they're going to hand it off to Luca Grave. Luca Grave is going to have hole. It's going to cut over to the middle, and it's going to be taken down at about the 8-yard line. So with 1:25 left in the half, looks like Pete Palzewski is going to have the play here and maybe, again, try to run it. Like I said, get the play clock to about 10 seconds, maybe call a timeout and try to punch it in. And it looks like that handoff is going to be to Justin Hogan, who's going to be taken down immediately.
Hogan on the carry. Number 18, Eddie Rivera on the tackle.
And that was senior middle linebacker Eddie Rivera on the tackle. We've heard his name called before. He's a captain. He stepped up when they really needed him. Looks like Palzuzzi's going to hand the ball off to Grave. Grave has a hold to the outside, and Luca Grave is going to take it all the way for a Wayne Hills touchdown. Absolutely, Matt. Momentum in football is such a big factor on who wins and loses the game. And right now, the momentum is on Wayne Hills' side. So let's see if Embry Kai can make up for his wrongdoing in the previous touchdown and try to make this extra point. It's a low snap here, and it is up, and it is good.
The kick is good.
So 27 seconds are left in the half. The Patriots are leading 20-6. This is what we expected. We expected Wayne Hills to come out and just show that they're dedicated to the run. And I mean, that's what we've saw. We have seen them not try to pass it, not try to force things, and I think that that's made the difference in them leading this football game. And it looks like Rice and Ozoria are going to be back again to return. And Matt, we've seen them. We've seen Rice bring one back to the house. Do you even risk it? Kicking it to him. And that ball is going to be kicked to Ozoria. Ozoria is going to have a hole. He's going to take it to the outside. Ozoria up the middle. Ozoria has one man to beat, and he's going to be dragged down at the 45-yard line. A huge return.
Tackled by number 21, Tyler Ramirez, and number 22, Brian Burgess.
So what we said before. Do you elect to kick the ball deep or squib it? And they elected to kick the ball deep, and it looked like it could potentially come back to bite them.
The ball spotted on the Patriots' 42-yard line. First and 10, Teaneck.
So correction, Gamble is going to be back in the shotgun formation. Two receivers split out wide on the right-hand side. And it looks like Gamble's going to do a little bubble screen here, but no, it's going to be a fake play, and it's going to be overthrown.
The pass from Eli Bethia is intended for number 4, Mike Davis, incomplete.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 with 10 seconds left in the half. And Gamble's going to be in the shotgun formation. Gamble's going to survey the field looking. He's going to have the pocket collapse, and Wayne Hills is going to get the sack that they most definitely needed.
Gamble is sacked in the backfield by number 48, LaShawn Askew, and number 75, Kyle Brackett.
So now, Teaneck decides to take a timeout. Obviously, they want to give their offense one more shot. Now, obviously, this is definitely a long shot, but what if Teaneck tries to go deep, and Wayne Hills intercepts the ball and potentially brings it back, scores a touchdown. That would definitely be a huge, huge, huge momentum-shifting play for Wayne Hills. And if you're Wayne Hills, you have to just put men deep down by the end zone to prevent any big play from happening. So it's like Gamble's going to be in the shotgun formation. Gamble's going to take a low snap. And Gamble is going to launch and going deep. He's got a man, and that ball is going to be, looks like it's going to be intercepted by Wayne Hills. And what a nice way to go to the end of the half on that interception.
The pass is complete to number 10, Ernst Papillon, but that is the end of the half.
And I mean, Matt, we've seen a team that just wants to run the ball. Wayne Hills really doesn't want to really bother passing it here because they really don't have to. They've run the ball so efficiently that if I'm Coach Demikoff, I got to keep giving it to my sophomore running back, Luca Grave.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Wayne Hills Patriot Marching Band. Under band director Christopher DeWild and assistant band director Dennis Cusack. Band officers, drum majors Daniel D'Amico and Sierra Peckham, President Devin Belmar, and Vice President Sophia Lewin. Their field repertoire, Evolution Through the Ages, Primitive Man, Americana, Flight, and Modern Era. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Wayne Hills Patriot Marching Band.
Check. Check.
Watch out. Oh, okay. Oh.
The Wayne Hills Patriot Marching Band presents Evolution, a story of mankind's progression using events in world history. We come from the earth. We're historic, tribal, and have advanced using our tribal instincts. We found music, or music found us. The first language of man was born and evolved with the drum. longer control their animal nature. Drums of communication led to war, death, and despair. A revolution for freedom and peace pits forces of good and evil in a battle for supremacy. The victor will gain the right to mold mankind and create the American dream.
Of applause would be appreciated from the stands here.
The triumph of democracy and freedom paves the way for innovation and transformation. We look towards the sky and reach for the stars in flight, taking us beyond the clouds and releasing us from the boundaries of Earth. Is upon us. Cities, globalization, velocity, acceleration? Where will it all end? That is for you to decide. Will it all play out? The answer will only come through evolution.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wayne Hills Patriot Marching Band. A standing round of applause is appropriate.
And here comes Ricky off to a good start with the salad and Elmo milk. He's going for the nacho cheese chips. Oh, and he puts them back and goes for the classics. An interesting choice there.
Looks like he wants to eat more healthy today, John. And now it looks like he's going to get a cookie.
Oatmeal.
Oh, baby, that's the way the cookie crumbles. It's nacho cheese, though.
Hello and welcome back to Patriots Stadium. And just before we start, we want to inform our audience that the girls field hockey team has just won the championship, and that is a big boost for our sports here at Wayne Hills. And it's good to see all aspects of not just football and basketball, but everybody, especially also in the girls' sports, exceeding exceptionally well in their sports. So it's going to be Vinny Laverty and Brian Burgess back deep to return the kickoff.
By number 1, Rashad Rice.
And the kick is going to be boom deep, and it's going to be Brian Burgess on the return. He's going to fit the ball about the 8-yard line. Burgess is going to try to make a move, and Burgess is going to be taken down at about the 17-yard line.
Burgess on the kickoff return. Tackled by number 10, Ernst Papillon.
So now, Wayne Hills, we've seen the first half. It was just run. Now, we've been saying this, we've been going back and forth about this, but do you try the pass? So it looks like the handoff is going to be given to Luca Grave, who's going to be stumbled up, but no, going to stay on his feet. And it looks like the refs are going to blow the whistle here, and it's going to be a gain of about 5 on the carry. It's going to be 2nd and 4 here for the Patriots. So Pazus is going to be under center, going to take the snap, and he is going to hand it off again to Luca Grave. Luca Grave is going to get the run, and it looks like it's going to be short of a first down.
Tackled by number Patriots.
So that's going to be a first down here for the Patriots. Pete Palzewski going to be under center. And he's going to hand it off again to Luca Grave. Luca Grave has a hole, and he is going to be taken down at about the 34-yard line. A gain of 4 on the carry.
Tackled by Devontae Hicks and Daniel Redford. Second and 5.
So it's going to be 2nd and 5 here for the Patriots. Palzewski's going to hand it off to Grave. Grave's going to find a seam. He's going to find a hole. He's going to try to pick up the first down here. And it looks like he is going to have it. So it's going to be a first down again for the Patriots.
First down, Patriots.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 here for the Patriots. And they're going to pitch it. He's going to pitch it up to Luca Grave. Luca Grave is going to try to find a hole. He does. And he's going to pick up the first down.
Look at what this sophomore's doing for Wayne Hills. Another tremendous run from Grave. First down, Wayne Hills, new set of downs. And here, you know what? I know I said that they shouldn't throw on first down. Here, I'd roll out Pete and throw.
Patriots.
So it's going to be a 1st and 10 here for the Patriots.
Now Wayne Hills is in a good position right here on offense. You know, they are in enemy territory, and you know they're looking to put up some points right here on the board.
So Palzewski's going to take it down to center. Palzewski's going to, play action, and he's going to be taken down. Blindsided hit here.
That's a great job there by Christian Ozoria with the sack right there, the edge rusher right there. That's a nice play by Ozoria. And this Teaneck defense continues to shine on the pass rush.
And we've called Ozoria's number a bunch of times, and he's definitely stepped up. I mean, he's only a junior. He definitely has one more solid year here at Teaneck. And what I've seen is a player that's hungry, even though they're on the road. And, you know, being on the road can sometimes not necessarily alter your game plan, but it can definitely play into on how you perform. And he's played exceptionally well tonight.
Absolutely. Despite, you know, the loud noise here at Wayne Hills, he has played well.
So Palzewski's going to hand it off to Grave. Grave's going to try to find a seam, and he does, but he's going to be... No, he's going to stay on his feet. Grave's going to break it outside, and he's going to be walked out of bounds at about the 37-yard line.
I mean, he's been doing it all game. You know, he's really been doing it all season. Tonight's his big breakout game. Luca Grave again with a big run. Tackled by Walker.
First down, Patriots.
So it's going to bring up a first down for the Wayne Hills Patriots.
Ball spotted on the Teaneck 35-yard line.
So it's going to be on the Teaneck 35-yard line. Palzewski's going to take the ball, and he's going to pitch it off to Grave. Grave is going to find holes. He's going to bounce it outside, but he's going to be taken down by the Teaneck defender, number 17, Peter Walker, on the tackle.
Peter Walker from the other side comes and tracks down the running back from Wayne Hills. Tremendous play by Peter Walker.
And it's the hustle play that wins games. You hear that term used a lot in the sport, not just football, but like in basketball. But in any sport, hustle. Hustle always outbeats skill anytime, any day of the week. And right now we've seen a Teaneck team that, despite being down by 14, is still trying to game plan and do what they do best. And they're going to hand it off to Hogan, and Hogan is going to be taken down short of the first down.
Well, you know, to get back to your point, you know, Teaneck has really, you're right, they've played a tough physical game on defense. There's not much more you could ask if you're on the Teaneck sidelines as a coach. You know, the points really aren't there yet for Teaneck, but they are plugging away against a solid Wayne Hills team.
It's going to be a 3rd and 3 here for the Patriots. Pazuski take it under center. And it looks like Pete is going to hand it off to Grave. Grave has a hole, has a seam. Grave breaks it, and it looks like he has a touchdown, but there is a flag on the play, and it looks to be in the area of holding, which would be devastating here and would probably bring this ball back, and indeed it is against the Patriots, and that touchdown will be erased.
Yeah, this one's coming back, a holding penalty right here from Wayne Hills. It's a big penalty because Wayne Hills they had a touchdown, but they still have the big lead, and Wayne Hills is going to come up with a play here.
Now, obviously, having a penalty like that, you always think if you have a big run, there has to be a penalty. But we've seen Wayne Hills play almost penalty-free football, a lot better than what we've seen in weeks past, where penalty flags were flying left and right almost after every 2-3 plays. Now, do you think Coach Demikoff addressed that in practice this week?
I'm sure he did, and if he did, it definitely shows tonight because Teaneck has been the team with all the penalties tonight. Wayne Hills has done a good job in that sense.
So it's going to be a 3rd and 7 here, and they're going to hand it off to Grave. Grave is going to be taken down at the 31-yard line.
Good job by the Teaneck defense against a good runner, Luca Grave, who, as we've said many times, has had a tremendous game. Number 22, Daniel Ratchford on the tackle for Teaneck.
Now, this is an interesting situation here, Matt. It's 4th and 6, and your offense is on the field. Do you think maybe Coach Demikoff here is just trying to, maybe run the clock out a little bit, get one more play off, or do you think he's doing this strategically to try to get first down?
I don't think he's strategically trying to get the first down here. I don't see why to run out the clock as Pete drops back to throw.
He's going to find a wide open Vinny Laverty for the Patriot touchdown.
There he is, the playmaker, number 9, Vinny Laverty. We haven't heard his name that much called tonight, but there he is with a tremendous seam route right there in the end zone. Touchdown, Wayne Hills. Beautiful throw by Pete.
So Vinny Laverty, he does it all. Kick returns, can play exceptional defense, and right there, a great wide receiver. And you know what, Matt? It's almost like they had to throw it to him. He's been constantly lining up, and they've been constantly throwing. I think that was almost like a little reward to Vin.
Absolutely. Like you said, he does it all, whether it's returning kicks, playing safety, and right there playing wide receiver. Vinny Laverty with a tremendous play right there for the touchdown.
And the extra point is good. So that's going to make the score 27-6. Wayne Hills.
53 seconds remain.
So, Matt, as what we just said, Vinny Laverty with another big play. I mean, I've talked to him, and I've known him personally. Great kid. And he's told me that this year was his year. He really wanted to show everybody what he was made of. And, I mean, this year so far, I think he has maybe 4, almost 5 touchdowns this season. And, I mean, that is an exceptional stat coming from a junior, kick returner, wide receiver, and cornerback.
Absolutely. Vinny Laverty works just as hard, if not harder, than anybody on this Wayne Hills team. He is a tremendous asset to this Wayne Hills offense, defense, and special teams. Great kid, like you said, and it's good to see those kinds of kids succeed on the field.
And, I mean, you talk to anybody who knows Vin in the weight room. He's the first one there, and he's the last one out. He's trying to get his reps in, get his work in, coming off days, training, running, getting everything he needs to be also mentally prepared to when he comes out to battle, that he is keen and ready to go.
Absolutely, and all that training is paying off like you saw on that touchdown.
So it's going to be another little squib kick here by the Patriots, and it's going to be fielded by Rice. And Rashad Rice is going to take his seam, and Rashad Rice has a hole. Rashad Rice has one man to beat, and he will take it all the way to the house for the Teaneck touchdown.
This kid, Rashad Rice, is really opening up some eye. That is his 2nd touchdown kick return of the game. And Teaneck, they're not going down without a fight here.
And Rashad Rice, he's another guy. He's running like a collegiate football player right there. That's not what you see out of your normal high school kick returner. Someone that explosive who, when he finds the open hole, can bust through it and then put on the afterburners to beat the last man.
Absolutely, and you just saw right there, afterburners, you said it. I mean, that kid is really fast. He shows right there. That is his 2nd touchdown of the game in the kick return spot. And, it really lifts up Teaneck's feelings right now.
Now, I mean, obviously they try to squib kick it there, but how do you defend that? When both Rashad Rice and Christian Osorio are such dangerous kick returners.
Absolutely, I know this Wayne Hill special teams works hard in practice, and they usually are a good unit, but Rashad Rice is not your ordinary kick return, as you saw.
So it looks like they're going to do a little trickery play here, and it is going. The 2-point conversion is going to be no good here, making the score 27-12 Wayne Hills.
Well, you had to do it if you were Teaneck. You had to, get in the end zone there for the 2-point conversion, but they couldn't find it right there. A little low on the pass, and now Wayne Hills is up 27-12 here. 5:39 left in the third.
And it looks to see here that, Wayne Hills, especially on that 2-point conversion, you have to be happy with your defense, because on a trick play, obviously you may, I don't want to say fall asleep, but sometimes you're just not focused when, it's a play that doesn't occur every time, a 2-point conversion. But to stick with your men, especially when you have to put a man in motion and not give up the 2-point conversion, which would make the score a lot more manageable for Teaneck.
Absolutely, unfortunate for Teaneck because they try to keep it a game here in the third quarter. You have to get that 2-point conversion. I like the call from Teaneck right there. I know it's early in the second half, but you had to do it. It's just unfortunate for them that they didn't get it that time.
So it's going to be Brian Burgess, and it looks to be Vinny Laverty deep for the Patriots. And Brian Burgess is going to field the ball at the 9-yard line. Brian Burgess is going to try to break it outside, but he's going to break a tackle. Brian Burgess making moves, and Brian Burgess is going to be taken down at the 30-yard line.
Well, he was supposed to get taken down about the 15, but he kept running and carried the Teaneck kickoff team all the way for another 10 to 15 yards. Great job by Burgess, senior, number 22.
And I mean, that's just another, that goes back to the hustle game. I mean, that just is like not giving up, breaking the initial defense. Once you get hit, not falling down. I mean, most running backs that we've seen, you get hit behind the line of scrimmage. Okay, loss. But not him. He doesn't give up, and that's a great sign.
You're right,
Coach Demikoff.
You're right.
How you play. And Pete Palazzi is going to hand it off to Luca Grave. Luca Grave is going to try to make some moves here, but again, penalties fly, and it looks like it's going to be in the area of holding.
Yeah, I think this one's coming back. Another solid run by Grave, but I think this one's coming back after the holding call.
As the officials come together, it's going to be personal foul here on the Highwaymen, and that is going to give the Wayne Hills Patriots a first down.
Wow, that's a good break for Wayne Hills. I thought it was holding. I guess I couldn't really tell up here, but there's a nice break for Wayne Hills. Now they're in pretty good field position here.
Absolutely. And, obviously you never want to see penalties, but when it becomes a personal foul, you don't want to see that, especially at a football team, because that's just not discipline,
Absolutely. I know this Teaneck team is well coached right there. Bad mistake by the Teaneck Highwaymen.
So they're going to hand it off to Justin Hogan, who's going to fall down. And it looks like he picked up just about 2-3 yards.
Yeah, I still like the play call right there. Give it to the fullback. Like I said before, most people think the fullback's there to block, but a tremendous play call there from Demikoff trying to give Hogan the ball.
And the Patriots are going to move past the 50-yard line here, and it's going to be 2nd and 8.
Now, if I was Wayne Hills here, I'd try to throw the ball. You established the run already, but I think I'd throw the ball if I was Wayne Hills.
And it looks like it's going to hand it off to Luca Grave. Luca Grave is going to spin, and he is going to be taken down at the 45-yard line.
Well, Grave on the carry right there. That is Peter Walker from Teaneck on the tackle right there. Good read by the defense. 3rd and 8 coming up for the Patriots.
So it's going to be 3rd and 8 for the Patriots. So Pete Palazzi is going to be under center here. And Pete's going to take the ball. He's going to hand it off. No, he's going to keep it. It looks like a maybe miscommunication by the Patriots.
Read beautifully by number 11, Christian Ozoria, like you said, Andrew. We've talked about Ozoria. He's made plays all night. And, this Highwaymen defense read that perfectly on the key play.
And Osorio, I mean, he's had a really big game. We've heard his name called a bunch of times, and I mean, he just keeps making big plays.
Absolutely, this Teaneck defense is physical, much like the one from Wayne Hills.
So Tom Skiba is going to kick the ball away on a beautiful punt by Tom Skiba, and it's going to be fielded by Rashad Rice, who's going to try to make a move. Rashad Rice breaking tackles again. Rashad Rice trying to tiptoe and stay in bounds, but he's going to be pushed out of bounds at about the 32-yard line.
Thank goodness for Wayne Hills, he got out of bounds in time because, I thought Rashad Rice was going to make another gigantic run toward the end zone on that play. He made a couple nice moves. He makes guys miss. That's what Rashad Rice does for this Teaneck team. That's what he brings to the table every week.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 here for the Highwaymen. And Gamble's going to be in the shotgun formation. Gamble's going to take the snap, and he's going to pass it. Another little screen pass here, and he's going to give it to number 17, Peter Walker.
Nice little dump off there from Teaneck, a little wide receiver screen from Teaneck. He picks up a good gain, 1st down, Teaneck.
Actually, correction, that was Ernst Papillon on the carry, on the reception. And that's going to be 1st and 10 here for the Highwaymen. They're going to put a man in motion, and they're going to have Gamble run it himself, and he is going to be swallowed up by this Wayne Hills defense.
Well, Wayne Hills didn't forget about the first half when Gamble really used his legs. Wayne Hills all over it for a little gain.
And Joe Kenny on the tackle. Joe Kenny, another big player that we've seen make great plays, only a junior, along with Vinny Laverty, and I'm very excited to see what he has in store for the rest of his high school career.
Absolutely.
So Gamble's going to be back, and 2nd and 10 here. Gamble surveying the field. Gamble has the pocket collapse, but it is going to be incomplete here, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 10.
Good play there by Brian Burgess, the senior, number 22 corner. Beautiful play right there from him.
It's going to be 3rd and 10 here, and Gamble's going to be in the shotgun formation with trips to the right and 2 men spread out to the left. And it looks like they're going to try to have, and Wayne Hills is there. And no, but Gamble's going to elude a defender and break out of the tackle, and he is running all around the field and is eventually going to be thrown down by LaShawn Askew.
That is Kyle Brackett and LaShawn Askew meeting Gamble, the 2 pass rushing ends for Wayne Hills. Tremendous job by this Wayne Hills front 7 in this game, and now the Highwaymen will punt.
As I said before, LaShawn Askew, he's another guy I've been talking to all week. And you know what? Out of all these players that I've talked to, I think LaShawn has the biggest heart. That kid loves the game. No matter the situation, no matter when Coach Demikoff gives him his chances, LaShawn is always excited and always ready for anything that Coach Demikoff wants him to do, and he's always well prepared.
Absolutely, he's really doing a great job chasing down quarterbacks, and he shows it right there. Him and Brackett were meeting him right there, Gamble.
So it's going to be the Highwaymen out for the punt here. It looks like they are going to kick it away, and it's going to be fielded. No, they're going to let it go, and he's going to go out of bounds at about the 44-yard line.
Punt goes out of bounds.
So now Wayne Hills, trying to kill some clock. There's under a minute left here in the 3rd quarter. Wayne Hills trying to kill some clock going into the 4th quarter. I think they maybe try to get to the red zone, pick up 3 points.
The ball will be spotted on the 40-yard line.
And that's going to be spotted at the 40-yard line here, so not the best punt here for Teaneck.
No, it wasn't, and now it gives Patriots a 1st down here. 1st down here right at about the 40.
And Pete Palzus is going to hand it off to Luca Grave. Luca Grave has a hole. Luca Grave is going to try to break it again, and he's going to be taken down at the 19-yard line.
There's your MVP of the game, number 29 from Wayne Hills, Luca Grave, another tremendous run. And, he's been quiet a little bit here late in the 3rd quarter, but there he is again. Great job by the sophomore Grave.
And, I mean, how many times have we called his name? Luca Grave, Luca Grave, Luca Grave. Luca Grave, he's going to emerge into a really good running back. And, I mean, he's got to be on your radar for big players for Wayne Hills.
Absolutely, you know, he hits the holes very well and cuts it back extremely well.
And they're going to hand it off to, looks like Justin Hogan here, who's going to be taken down for a little game.
Hogan on the carry.
And that is Nathaniel Lee for Teaneck on the tackle, meeting Hogan at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
So that's going to be 2nd and 10 here for the Patriots. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout here. Nope, that the Patriots are just going to let the ball, the clock run out. And that is the end of the third quarter with Wayne Hills leading 27-12. We'll be right back with fourth quarter action right after this.
This is Nick Warzel's limelight, folks. This is when he brings his A game. The lights are turned on the field. Late in the day, he's ready to go.
On first down, Warzel back to pass. Excellent protection all the time in the world. Looking downfield, looking for Van Peenan, triple covered. Sticks it in there, flags on the play. Van Peenan ahead to the 20, looking for the sideline. He's across the 10, near the goal line, dives. Touchdown, Ray Van Peenan.
Welcome back to Patriot Stadium, and it looks like right off the bat we have it looks like a penalty is going to be assessed here, and it looks like it's going to be on the Patriots. So sorry about that, we got cut off. Welcome back to the fourth quarter action here at Patriot Stadium with your Wayne Hills Patriots leading 27-12 over the Teaneck Highwaymen. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 9 situation here for the Patriots.
Well, Wayne Hills very close, pushing it in right here.
Face mask against the defense. Touchdown.
And they do.
And it was a touchdown indeed against the Highwaymen, and that is another touchdown for the Patriots.
This Wayne Hills team is pouring it on. Teaneck, I'm sure they prepared for their run game all week, but it wasn't enough. Wayne Hills up 34, going to beat the 12.
Well, talk about preparing. Next week is a big test for the Wayne Hills Patriots. They take on a very good team in Paramus. And, I mean, obviously tonight, it's going to probably go in the Patriot favor as they're leading 33-12 right now with 11 minutes and 53 seconds left in the quarter. Now, do you think that after having such a lopsided, what it looks to be, win here, that's going to maybe affect how they prepare for the Paramus game?
Absolutely. I think it's going to carry over to that Paramus game because Wayne Hills has momentum on their side like we talked about all night. Momentum is such a big thing in football for this Wayne Hills team, and I think they will carry over that momentum next week to take on Paramus.
So Emery Kaya is going to add the extra point, making the score 34-12. And just, Matt, I mean, an exceptional performance tonight out of the running back, the sophomore, Luca Grave.
You know, it's been a tremendous game, I'm telling you, man. He's been the MVP of this game. Tremendous job by the sophomore. Like you said, he's only a sophomore, and he's playing like a senior tonight. Number 29 from Wayne Hills, Luca Grave, having a tremendous running game tonight.
So it looks like the Teaneck Thunder and Lightning are back to receive here. Rashad Rice and Christian Ozuria. And Matt, we've talked about Thunder and Lightning on the Wayne Hill side, but what we've seen is Thunder and Lightning out of those two players who are exceptional tonight.
You're right, Teaneck's got their own version of Thunder and Lightning, and they've been really, really hurting this Wayne Hills team on special teams. And they're trying to have another big return right here.
And Wayne Hills is ready to go, and they are going to squib kick it here, and they are going to have Teaneck's going to field the ball about the 25-yard line, and that is going to be taken up by Peter Walker, who's going to be taken down at about the 31-yard line.
That's a beautiful open field tackle by number 35, Dylan Dokes, the senior fullback linebacker. Tremendous play on special teams.
I don't know why they don't pitch it back to that kid. Pitch back.
And it looks like here we're going to have a 1st and 10 situation for the Teaneck Highwaymen. Gamble's going to be in the shotgun formation. Gamble's going to be back in the pocket. Gamble loads up, and he has a man, but he's going to underthrow it, and it's going to be intercepted by, it looks to be number 7, Frank Falzarano. But there is a penalty on the play, and we hope this is not in the area of pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, we hope not. You know, either way, a tremendous read by Falzarano to get the interception. We'll see if it holds up.
And it looks like it is against the Patriots, and that will erase any interception on the play.
Yeah, you know, now Teaneck has some more life here on, you know, almost on the other side of the 50, you know, almost marching in Wayne Hills territory. They're going to try to get in the end zone right here.
So it's going to bring up a 1st and 10 here, and the Highwaymen are not going home easily. Gamble's going to pass it off, and that is going to be a big run here. Breaking the sideline, picking up a 1st down.
Well, this Teaneck offense likes the screenplay from the wide receivers, and it shows right there. Forced out of bounds right there at about the 49-yard line.
And that was Ernest Papillon. And I mean, we've heard that player's name called a lot. He's a senior wide receiver and outside linebacker who you've seen tonight can really play.
You know what? He's explosive, much like these other Teaneck playmakers, and they showed it tonight.
So Gamble reaching back, but he's going to run for it. But the Wayne Hills defense is there to swarm and nullify any gain at all.
That is a tremendous play by number 75, the senior defensive end, Kyle Brackett. A tremendous pass rusher off the edge. And you saw it right there. He got to the quarterback for the sack.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd and long situation here for the Highwaymen.
Well, that's what a great pass rusher does. You know, he moves the offense back right there with a sack, and you know, tremendous play by Brackett.
It's going to be 2nd and 11 here. And they're going to hand it off to Rice. And Rice is going to try to find a hole. Very patiently running, and he's going to bring it up the sideline, and it's going to be pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, you said it, Andrew. Very patiently running, knocked out of bounds by number 3, Justin Hogan and Vinny Laverty. Good pickup right there for Teaneck.
And Rice, I think for Teaneck, has been the star of their game. He has had 2 big kickoff returns. And I mean, he's their running back. He's Mr. Do-It-All on that team.
Absolutely, much like Luca Grave is for Wayne Hills. You know, they should do it all tonight. Luca Grave, and now for Teaneck, it's Rashad Rice. You said it. Both tremendous playmakers on both sides.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 situation here. Gamble's going to be back to pass. Gamble's going to have it, and he's going to throw a little slant pattern here, and it's going to pick up only a short gain. It's going to bring up a 4th down situation here.
Well, good job by the Wayne Hills, you know, defense right there. Joey Stanbui sticking with him the whole way and brings him down for the tackle.
So 4th down here, and if they do not get the 1st down here, I think that just about wraps up this game.
Absolutely.
It'll be very difficult, you know, to score 3 more times here. And it looks like Gamble's going to have a man open, and he hits Papillon again for another 1st down.
Little curl route there from Papillon. Good find by Gamble. 1st down, Teaneck in the red zone now.
And you know, Matt, this is I don't know if this is necessarily the game plan, or this is how it happened or unfolded, but we've been calling Papillon's name a lot in the 2nd half, not really the 1st half. Do you think that the Teaneck coaching staff thought maybe that they have to get this kid incorporated in the game plan?
Absolutely, and I think they mentioned it to him at the half, like you said. You know, he's a big playmaker, and they like to get him in on some plays.
So Gamble's going to pass it off, and he is going to gain about a yard on it, but there's a late flag here. We'll see who this is on. The refs look to be conversing with each other.
The pass was complete to number 7, Devontae Hicks.
And that was Devontae Hicks, the intended receiver, and who made that catch.
Flag on the play.
And we are waiting for the flag.
And it looks like the penalty, by the looks of it, is going to be on the Highwaymen just by the way that they had backed up, but I mean, this is taking a very long time by these officials.
You're right, the officials really are conversing here. They want to get this one right. No problem with that.
And it is going to be on the Patriots. So that is going to bring the ball up to about the 15-yard line.
Now what Wayne Hills is doing with all these penalties is letting Teaneck stick around a little bit. You know, they could have finished them off by stopping them on fourth down right there, well, before that. And now, you know, right here, Wayne Hills is letting them stick around, and, you know, you're letting Teaneck make some plays here.
And that's correction. It's going to be, ball is going to be placed on the Patriot 11-yard line. And now, Matt, I mean, obviously a touchdown here isn't the end of the world for the Patriots. But, I mean, you really don't want them to score just to make a statement for your defense.
Absolutely. You know, Wayne Hills really has to step up right here if they want to get some momentum, like you said. But, you know, like you said, you know, a touchdown will not be the end of the world, but I'm sure Wayne Hills is looking to stop him right here.
So that's going to be a timeout by the Highwaymen.
It looks like a little miscommunication right there on that offensive formation. They had a guy running off the field right there back onto the sideline. They had to call a timeout. They felt that was necessary.
So, Matt, we've watched just about 4 quarters of this entire football game. And we have so much, you know, obviously throughout the week, speculation, who's going to step up, who's going to, you know, make the big plays. But do you think that, you know, we were right on our predictions on who we thought was going to step up tonight?
Absolutely, you know, Justin Hogan's have a very good game, and Luca Grave really, I know he's been a big factor to this Wayne Hills offense, but he really, you know, had a tremendous game tonight. And, you know, this entire Wayne Hills offense really just exploded, and which I think we thought that the run game was going to do very well, which it did.
So it looks like Wayne Hills is ready, and it looks like Teaneck is ready. And let's see what the Highwaymen have in store. It's going to be 1st and 10 here. Gam's going to take the ball under center. Gam's going to pitch it off to Rashad Rice, who's going to be tripped up on his own feet. The turf monster got him on that one.
Oh, Rice just slipped up right there. 2nd down coming up. Tripped up by the defensive lineman, number 67, Tom Ramsey right there. Good play by him.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 here for the Highwaymen. The ball's going to be snapped, and Gamble's going to take the ball, and he's going to take a shot at the end zone, and that ball is going to be caught, but it looks like there's a penalty flag. That ball was caught by Ernest Papillon, but that looks like it's going to be in the area of offensive pass interference.
You know what? I think you're right on that one. I think it is offensive pass interference going against Teaneck, and that is a killer for them on offense.
No, actually, the penalty is against Wayne Hills, which I did not think. I thought that the play was definitely going to go against Teaneck, just because there was so much shoving back and forth. You know, obviously, the officials are probably going to play a little bit more towards the offense, just because, you know, down by a big score here, you know, pushing and shoving from both sides is probably going to result in a touchdown for the offense. But I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that call.
Yeah, me neither. I thought there was a little too much pushing from the intended receiver right there. He does have the touchdown, and Teaneck will go for 2 right here.
That's going to be Gamble in the shotgun formation. And it looks like Teaneck is going to snap the ball, and they are going to have a penalty flag flies, and they are going to fail the 2-point conversion attempt, and it's going to be a false start on the Highwaymen, and that is going to be declined by Wayne Hills, and that just about wraps up this game. I mean, Wayne Hills, all they really have to do is maybe just, you know, keep it on the ground with Luca Grave, or if they want to maybe even bring in a younger player to maybe get some reps here in a game where they realize they have a pretty big lead.
Absolutely, you know, I think Wayne Hills is going to try to get a couple first downs, kill the clock. There is a little under 8 minutes left in regulation right here. And Wayne Hills just trying to kill the clock, get some first downs, keep the ball moving. Keep the clock moving.
And keep the clock moving is definitely the main goal of Coach Demikov here. So now, if you're Teaneck, do you try the onside kick here? Or do you just say, you know what, this game is out of hand, let's just wrap it up and try to get out of here as soon as possible?
I try the onside kick if I'm Teaneck, you know. If I was Teaneck, I wouldn't go down without a fight, you know. And if they don't get the onside kick, this game is over.
And indeed, Matt, it looks like the Highwaymen are sending out the onside kick unit, and Wayne Hills has their hands team out.
Absolutely. And I definitely agree with this call from the Teaneck coaching staff. If you want to make it a game, you got to get the ball back as quickly as possible.
The onside kick attempt here. The ball is teed up. Looks like Rashad Rice is going to be doing the kicking from Teaneck. Rashad Rice is going to kick it off, and it looks like it's going to go behind the hands team here, and it looks like the Patriots are going to pick it up at about the 23-yard line.
And it looks like this Tom Skiba recovers the onside kick right there, and it looks like this game is just about over if Wayne Hills keeps the clock moving and holds on to the football.
That was actually Tom Skiba who downed the ball there. And you know what? Tom Skiba also the other quarterback on this team. But that right there, you know, that's what I like to see out of Tom. He doesn't just, you know, when he doesn't play as starting as his quarterback, he plays other roles. He's very important to this Patriot team.
Absolutely. Not only does he fill in a quarterback sometimes, he plays safety, punts, and he makes nice plays like that on the hands team. A great all-around player for this Wayne Hills team is Tom Skiba.
So if you're Coach Wayne Demikoff here, you got to just run the ball out. Hopefully that they don't have a fumble, but Luca Grave is going to break a tackle, and Luca Grave to the 30, the 20, the 15, and he is going to be dragged out, but it looks like a horse collar tackle by Rashad Rice. And as we were just saying, why don't we just run the ball a little bit? Instead, Luca Grave has other ideas, and he's just going to try to take it to the house.
He has been the Wayne Hills home run hitter tonight. He has been the Lightning, and Justin Hogan's been the Thunder. And right there, Luca Grave has a tremendous pickup.
And I mean, I like how you sum that up. Lightning and thunder. That's what it's all about. The ground and the pound. And you know what? I mean, I really think that Wayne Hills has established a phenomenal run game tonight.
Absolutely. And it is indeed a horse collar tackle against Teaneck.
And it looks like the Patriots here are going to try to just run the clock out. But definitely a score would be excellent.
Absolutely, a score and an extra point would make it 41-18 Wayne Hills. And if that doesn't lock it up, I don't know what does.
And they're going to hand it off to Thunder. Justin Hogan himself, who is going to take it all away for a touchdown.
That's right, Lightning, you saw. And the Thunder finishes the boom. Touchdown, Wayne Hills.
And it looks like Emery Kaya is going to attempt the extra point here for Wayne Hills.
Catania will attempt the extra point.
Kick is up, and it is good. Making the score 41-18 Wayne Hills.
What a blowout from this Wayne Hills offense, putting up 41 against a talented Teaneck team, and they did it with ease on the running game.
Actually, correction, 41 points. So, Matt, that just about wraps things up here from Patriots Stadium. Now, if you have to say one player tonight that really surprised you, who is it?
Without hesitation, it's number 29, Luca Grave. He had a tremendous game from really the end of the first quarter. I was saying he was the MVP, and he just kept it rolling. And, you know, Lightning and Thunder for Wayne Hills have just, you know, absolutely executed beautifully out of the backfield tonight, and it shows with the scoreboard.
Now, again, Matt, I don't like to use the cliche a lot, but do you kick it to Thunder and Lightning of the Teaneck team? Rashad Rice and Christian Ozoria. I mean, Rice has been the Lightning, and Ozoria has been the Thunder.
You know what? I think Wayne Hills kicks it to either one of them because they got a big lead, a lot of cushion, and I think this Wayne Hills kickoff team is going to make a big play here.
So Wayne Hills is ready to kick off. Ball is placed on the tee, and Wayne Hills is ready to roll. And they are going to kick it, squib it here, and it's going to be bobbled here by the Teaneck, and they are going to be swallowed up at the 30-yard line.
A great play there, right time by the kickoff team from Wayne Hills. I mean, on this game, you can already tell that the tackles are going to be very important for this kickoff team.
I agree, Matt. You know, in this game, you gotta have players, and I mean, in this game, without having a team that can both play offense and defense, you're not going to win in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think the Wayne Hills team really all.
And it's going to be a 1st and 10 here for the Teaneck Highwaymen. Gamble's going to throw it, but it looks like flags have flown all over the field here, and we would like to see what this call is going to be.
Yeah, I think this one's coming back.
As the referees converse, Matt, obviously we have a false start on the player, but you know, Wayne Hills, you know, they might be one of those teams that get hot late. They have won, you know, last week against Rampo. They're, you know, obviously with 7 minutes left in the game, up 41-18. We can almost safely say they're going to win this game. Yep. Do you think that they're the team now to watch out for?
Absolutely. I really think Wayne Hills has a chip on their shoulder after their slow start, and I think next week Paramus is going to have a tough time trying to beat them.
Gamble's going to be out in the shotgun. Gamble's going to survey the field. Gamble's going to break away from Metallica. No, he's going to be taken down. The pocket collapsed, nothing there, and he's going to take the sack.
That is number 75 again, Kyle Brackett, the senior pass rushing end for Wayne Hills. He's been all over this quarterback from Teaneck all game long.
So as the clock, we have running time here now, and as the clock is running down, looks like Teaneck's going to try to take another shot at the end zone. I mean, that's really all they can do. Gamble's going to take the snap from the shotgun, and Gamble's going to hit, and it's going to be intercepted by Wayne Hills. And it looks like that's just going to wrap things up, and that's going to be number 49, Joe Stambuli, on the interception.
It's great to see an outside linebacker that can drop back into coverage as well as Joey Stambuli can in the flat. A tremendous play by the junior linebacker, Wayne Hills ball.
And Joey Stambuli is definitely a fan favorite. I mean, he's one of those guys that just everybody likes. He's a great kid, works hard on and off the field, and I mean, we're very happy to see Joe make big plays like that.
Absolutely, and the hard work you just mentioned paid off right there. A tremendous coverage play by number 49 in Wayne Hills, Joe Stambuli.
So it looks like the Patriots will just probably run the ball out, but we said that last time, and what happened? Luca Grave had other ideas. He tried to take it all the way to the house, and you love to see that. Not giving up, not settling just to do enough, but trying to go above and beyond. And I mean, that's just what you want to see out of your sophomore running back.
Absolutely. I think these Wayne Hills running backs right now are just trying to get their stats up because they know they're trying to get the ball. And, you know, this Wayne Hills offensive line's been making gigantic holes for them all day. You got to give a lot of credit to them, led by Tyler Rigoli. And, you know, this Wayne Hills team really is doing a great job.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Patriots. And it looks like we're going to have a change in the running backs here. I think this is going to be Jacob Cassell here, who we saw last week. That is going to be a big gain here by the Patriots.
That's Tyler Ramirez, the senior tailback on the carry after the toss play. Big pickup right there for the Patriots.
Correction, we believe that's Tyler Ramirez on the carry.
21 on the carry, tackled by number 6, Jordan Gamble.
And we just, Jordan Gamble on the tackle for the Highwaymen, and he's the quarterback, but that just shows he has heart. Obviously being the quarterback, you think, oh, he doesn't want to get hurt, doesn't want to play defense, but no, he's a gamer. He wants to be in there, and even though obviously this game is out of hand, he's not giving up, and you love to see that in just all aspects of the game.
100%. This Teaneck team is full of a bunch of tough players. They've had a tough assignment tonight going against this good Wayne Hills team. But, their toughness is still there, and they're not going down without a fight.
So it looks like it's going to be handed off to Tyler Ramirez. Tyler Ramirez has a burst of speed. And I mean, he is extremely quick outside once he gets a block, and he's like one of those, running backs you see in the NFL, like a LaShawn McCoy. Once he breaks the initial line of defense, you can't stop speed.
Yeah, he's one of those speed backs, they like using him on the toss play. Tyler Ramirez, finding holes right there.
It looks like Wayne Hills is going to keep it on the ground, and they're going to hand it off again to Tyler Ramirez. But there is a flag on the play.
Might be coming back here.
Out of bounds by number 16, Khalid Laguette. Penalty marker is down on the 9-yard line. Holding against the Patriots.
So that penalty is going to go against the Patriots. It's going to be a holding penalty. And, obviously right now you don't want to see penalties, but it's really not going to really affect the outcome of this game.
Absolutely not. I think Wayne Hills has a lot of different players in here in this offensive formation. And, the penalties will hurt, but not in this situation.
And they're going to hand it off to Tyler Ramirez, who's going to be swallowed up by this Teaneck team.
Yeah, the Teaneck defense all over Tyler Ramirez right there, and the Wayne Hills run game that time. That is Harris on the tackle.
And it's going to be a 2nd and 15 here for the Patriots. It's like a little misdirection here, and they're going to give it off to Ramirez, who is going to get nothing. Going to be a loss of yards on the carry.
And this Teaneck defense really is coming to life at the wrong time in this game. They are shutting down Tyler Ramirez right now.
So, Matt, obviously we talked about, big players like Justin Hogan, big players like Luca Grave. But, obviously at the quarterback position, we didn't hear Pete Palzucci's name being called a lot just because Wayne Hills didn't pass. Do you think maybe Coach Demikoff saw something in this Teaneck defense that maybe thought to himself that this team really isn't good at defending the run? Or do you think that was just Pete was not feeling the pass today?
I think it's a little bit of Coach Demikoff seeing something with this Teaneck defense that they can't handle the run, or it's just him believing in his tremendous run game because Luca Grave, Justin Hogan, all those guys, and now Tyler Ramirez, they're all adding on to this Wayne Hills rushing attack.
So Wayne Hills is just going to try to just, obviously 3rd and 17 here, just run the ball, maybe try to get a field goal here, go up 44-18, and that's just probably going to wrap things up tonight. And they're going to hand it off. And looks like he's going to break a tackle, and he's going to find the edge, but Teaneck is there quick, not giving up.
Well, he tried to make something out of nothing, and instead of getting tackled for a loss, he gets tackled for no gain.
And that was sophomore Jacob Cassell on the carry, and you'll love to see that. Young players getting into the action.
Absolutely. I'm sure he's pumped up along with the other guys that aren't usually in there right now for this Patriot offense, and I'm sure they're pumped up and very energetic at this time.
So that's going to bring up a 4th and 13 here. Wayne Hills is probably going to run one. It's probably going to be their last play of the game here on offense. And they're going to hand it off again, and it looks like Tyler Ramirez on the carry. No, correction, Cassell. Staying with the sophomore, not going back to the senior. And, I mean, that shows a lot that Coach Demikov has a lot of faith in his sophomore running back.
And I think he should. I think every running back that has played today, Coach Demikov should have faith in, because they've all shown that they can be solid varsity football players.
And it's really enjoyable watching this team, you know. They don't just, you know, say, oh, you know, just win the game, you know, lucky to win. They really are starting to click on all cylinders of both the offensive part of the game, the defense, special teams tonight. Obviously, yes, you know, missing an extra point there, maybe not having the greatest punt. But you know what? We've seen them make up for that. Tom Skiba doesn't have the greatest punt in the beginning, but he makes up for it. He has a beautiful punt later in the game that really put the Highwaymen in a tough situation. And also, Emery Kaya, he made up for his first extra point missed, and he's made everything, and has been money since.
Absolutely. This whole Wayne Hills team has definitely had a great job tonight.
And Gamble is going to hold on to the ball, and he is going to be taken down a gain of 1.
Gamble on the carry.
And Gamble still trying to use his legs. That is Dante Tillman, the senior defensive tackle, on the tackle.
And it's going to be a timeout by the Highwaymen here. And obviously, yes, the game is out of hand. They're not going to be coming back here. But you know what this shows by calling a timeout here? It shows that you're not giving up. It shows that, yeah, you know, you lost, but you still want to stay to yourself. You're playing for pride now. You're not playing for the statistics. You're just playing for pride, and that you want to represent your school as best possible you can.
That's right, and they're getting some plays in. You know, it's like a practice, it's like a scrimmage for them right at this point in the game, because they, you know, they're down by a hefty margin, and you know, it's like they're running plays against a solid defense, which is, you know, they're putting in work.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 4 for the Highwaymen. Gamble's going to take the snap from the shotgun, and Gamble's looking and going deep. Has a man, and he is going to overthrow his intended receiver, number 10, Ernest Papillon.
And they are trying to try the deep ball against this Wayne Hills secondary. Even at this point in the game, you'd think they'd be tired, but Falzarano all over the coverage that time.
And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 4 here for the Highwaymen. Gamble's going to be in the shotgun formation. And take the ball, and Gamble's going to run with it. The pocket collapses. Gamble's going to put a beautiful move on a defender, and he's going to be thrown down at about the 22-yard line, picking up the first down on his feet.
Even at this point in the game, Gamble likes using his legs.
Carry tackled by number 43, Steve Vishnevsky.
That is number 43 for Wayne Hills, Steve Vishnevsky, the senior, on the tackle.
So, Matt, if you're Teaneck, you probably have 4 more plays. Just try to throw it in the end zone, try to get 1 more touchdown here. But if you're Wayne Hills, you can start the celebration. You have a big win here, and it looks like they're going to pass it over, and it's going to be incomplete. You have a big win here, and I mean, obviously, yes, celebrate a little bit tonight, but then tomorrow it's back to work. And I'm sure Coach Demikov, right after this game is over, not even tomorrow, tonight he's going to be thinking about Paramus. That's all the mentality is going to be about, is Paramus, nothing else.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a big game next weekend. And, you know, it's really a must-win for Wayne Hills. And if they keep up, and if they run the ball the way they did tonight, nobody's going to stop Wayne Hills.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 here for the Highwaymen. Gamble's going to take the snap, and Gamble is going to look, and he's going to be sacked on the play.
Great job by this Wayne Hills team.
Number 62 for the Patriots.
Number 62 for the Patriots, Hikmat Sabay on the sack. And now, with time winding down to about 30 seconds left, the clock is ticking. Looks like Wayne Hills is going to win this game.
And it looks like Teaneck is going to have 1 more play, just a Hail Mary, throw it deep. And tonight, Matt, Wayne Hills looked exceptional. They played great football, and I'm really I'm really happy and excited to what I saw tonight.
Me too, absolutely.
Gamble's going to take the ball, and he's going to pass it over to Papillon, who's going to drop the ball. And that is going to just about, and indeed it does. And there is your ball game. So, Matt, obviously we talked about pregame, we talked about it at halftime. Wayne Hills did a great job executing the game plan. Anything tonight that you just want to add in before we go?
Well, I mean, next weekend's a big game against Paramus, and I really do think if they keep the same mentality, you know, keep running the ball at Lightning and Thunder like we've mentioned so many times, you know, Luca Grave and Justin Hogan, you know, keep feeding him the ball. It's going to be tough to stop Wayne Hills.
Well, I think tonight, Matt, we've seen a lot from this Wayne Hills team, and I think my MVP tonight is Luca Grave. But, Matt, that's all the time we have here at Patriot Stadium. Your final score, Wayne Hills 41, Teaneck 18. It was a great win for the Patriots, Matt, and we hope for you guys to join us again next time when Wayne Hills takes on the Patriots. Thank you and good night.